Alrighty, so Secret Invasion is Marvel's newest Disney Plus series. I had a chance to watch every single episode. In fact, it feels good because this is the first time in a long while that a Marvel show actually wanted me to keep clicking on each episode each week and get that feeling. But I finally did that. I finally finished Secret Invasion. Today I'm going to give you my review on the show. Before I do that, please make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell. Comment down below, what did you guys think of Secret Invasion? Apparently, what I don't think should be is this show being really controversial. Apparently, it's really controversial, which, spoiler alert, I love the show. I don't know why everybody else did, and this is worth hyping up, worth talking about. And so I want to know, what was your experience with the show? You love it, or were you like the person that was like, yeah, it's way too dull and boring for me? For me, this was my Andor, to where Andor for me was really boring, and I really did not like it, and this show really was great, and I've heard it's reversed for a lot of people. I want to know what are your opinions on the show, and with that said, we're going to get started talking about Marvel's Secret Invasion. Going into this one, I was super nervous. Number one, I was on the train that I definitely thought that this should be an Avengers movie. We were getting Avengers Secret Wars and Avengers Kang Dynasty. I think they should have announced an Avengers Secret Invasion as well, but as the show comes, the trailers weren't doing all that for me. A lot of things about the show weren't necessarily for me. So when the first episode dropped, I clicked on it, hesitant but excited to experience a new Marvel show, fully knowing that the last couple of Marvel shows were some of the worst things that Marvel's ever put out. And from that first episode, I was instantly drawn into this world. And I think that this show is one of the best Marvel Disney Plus shows. Is it without problems? No, it's got problems. But for me, I think that this is a show that people should have gone on Twitter, talked to people about Secret Invasion, because it is definitely worth the hype for me. And it's, again, super disappointing that people didn't like it. I'll talk about that here in a few minutes. Starting with the positives, the cast here is all great. This is probably the best casted Marvel show. Obviously, we got Samuel L. Jackson as the Nick Fury. He's great here. He has been a Skrull in the MCU for at least a long time. I forget when the last time we actually saw real Nick Fury was. So we get to see an older version of the character. And I think Samuel L. Jackson plays that character really, really well, because he's Nick Fury, but he's old, and he's facing an invasion, and his prime is gone, and so he's really well acted in this, and I really did like Samuel L. Jackson. Olivia Colman was in the show. She is great. Ben Mendelsohn, Don Cheadle. I mean, we got all the cast that's not super in this show, plus a couple of real additions like Olivia Colman, who's absolutely fantastic in the show. This is like a very high casted show that doesn't rely on superpowers and superheroes and the fact that, oh look, there's that character, oh look, there's that character. It relies on the cast and all their great acting, and it relies on the story, because on a story level, people are saying that this show is really weirdly written. To me, I think that the show is done really, really, really well. Because, I mean, let's look at the last couple. We had She-Hulk, which all of it was, just really weird. And then when we get to the finale, it was, yeah, I'm a woman, and so I can undo what my mistakes are. That's just terrible writing. Miss Marvel, don't even get me started on that. The villains died in that show, and she goes, oh, no! Yeah, let's go get pizza. Pretty much like that. What was before Miss Marvel? Oh yeah, Moon Knight. Moon Knight was good. But comparing this one to those, this show is competently written and has intriguing thoughts and intriguing ideas. And for the most part, I thought that they were executed out very well. The show is also very entertaining. Every Wednesday, I would get home from work or from doing what I was doing, so excited to check out the next episode of Secret Invasion, because it was interesting, it had ideas that worked, the cast was great, it wasn't just about superheroes, so there was actual stakes that you feel, and the Skrulls are great. We forgot to talk about Kingsley Ben-Adir as Super Skrull, or Gravik, as you want to call it. I thought he was Super Skrull. I think he's great. Kingsley Ben-Adir is going to be one of the most up-and-coming actors, because he's fantastic as this villain in this movie, and I think that he gives absolutely amazing performance and gives me chills as one of the best Disney Plus villains. And like I was saying, there's actual stakes in this. The Skrulls are invading Earth. If Nick Fury does not stop them, they can all lose. Do I think it should have been an Avengers movie still? I do. But for what they had here as a 6-episode Nick Fury and crew stop the Skrull invasion, I thought the cast was great, the character arcs were great. I mean, Nick Fury has a very compelling character arc throughout the entire series that was absolutely great. The reveals were great, the intensity was great. I just think that this is overall a pretty great MCU show that does a lot of things right and kept me coming back to it each week, wanting more. Can't wait for the next episode because I think that this is done really, really well. Real quick, what do I think is going to happen are we getting to season 2? What's going to happen next with this war? I think this war is going to set up the Avengers Secret Invasion. I mean, humans and Skrulls are going to war. There's probably going to be another uprising. Why don't the Avengers come in and they all have a war? Do I think that's going to happen? No. Do I want that to happen? Is that what I think the direction they should take is? Yeah, but overall, Secret Invasion should be the next MCU show that gets a season 2. I think it was very compelling, very interesting, and I really liked it. Like I said, it did have its issues, so let's move on to them. And the big one is, we get 5 episodes of a super compelling spy show about Nick Fury stopping the Skrull invasion that is interesting, has unique ideas, barely has any action, but when the action is, it's really good and really brutal. That's another thing, the show's really brutal. It's like an R-rated MCU show, that's even better. But anyways, we get all that. We get to the 6th episode. It's so good. We get the reveals of Nick Fury and the whole switch around and the amazing speech by Gravik. All that is great. And then we get them turning into the villains and the big Super Skrulls, and then it's terrible CGI battle. It's not even a good CGI battle like WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Moon Knight. It's not even like entertaining. It's like they grow a Drax arm that's like really short and looks like absolute garbage. And there's this whole thing that this show costs more than Loki Season 2. And Loki Season 2 looks great. This show in a CGI battle did not. And so it makes you sit back and think, where did all this money come from? Because why did we have to end with a CGI battle? I'm fine with ending with a CGI battle if it's cool. I mean, I've been suffering from super fatigue, but I'm not gonna lie, when they got those Avengers powers and turned into Super Skrulls, I was super hyped. I was genuinely so hyped for the fight. But like, where did the budget go, man? The fight looked terrible and genuinely left me with a sour taste in my mouth because it was just like super villain, superhero, random people, just random superpowers fighting each other. It just looked so very bad. And it just, where did the money go, guys? Where did the money go? And the show would have been perfect. The show would have been in my top 3 MCU shows if it did not end in that terrible CGI battle. And even if the battle was cool, I think it would have been great. But overall, I did like the last episode. I thought it wrapped up a couple things and set up the next season or next Avengers movie or whatever they're going to do very nicely. But why did they have to do it this way? Why did they have to do it this way? Very interesting to me why this is the choice they chose. And then one more, the excuse for why the Avengers couldn't show up is kind of pathetic. I mean, the invasion's coming. The whole MCU could collapse if the Skrulls invade Earth. Nick Fury's like, yeah, we got the Avengers DNA. We can't have the Avengers fight. Even though they're like Earth's mightiest heroes, they could wipe out the Skrulls in like 3 seconds. And then Nick Fury's like, this is personal. I mean, you could have just left it at, we can't let them get the DNA. I would have believed that. But like Nick Fury just going, this is personal. We can't let them do this. Like, that's just kind of like it's just a little nitpick for me. Overall, I think that this one is the best written MCU show. It's got great character arcs. It's got great brutal action when there is action. The cast is all great here. This is a show that is worth talking about. Y'all should watch this show and talk about the show instead of just, oh, the AI intro is bad. Like, I get your genuine criticism about it. I had mine too. Like, I get that you were bored by it. I felt the same way about Andor, and people gave me hate for that, so I'm not shading on you guys. But for the people that are just like not watching the show because of the AI intro or because they don't want to watch Marvel anymore, I recommend you watching the show. If you don't like it, that's fine. But don't just watch the show and hate on it because of an AI intro or any of that, because this show is genuinely a great MCU show in my opinion. And so it's easily the best one since, I think, I would say Moon Knight, which is over a year ago. We're finally getting good Marvel stuff. We got Guardians 3 and Secret Invasion back to back. Does that mean Loki Season 2 and the Marvels are going to be great? Loki Season 2 and Echo, I'm hyped for all of that. My final score for Secret Invasion is going to get a B+. I so wanted to give it an A-. I was so ready to give it an A, and then we get that CGI battle. So B+ is going to have to do. It's in my top 5 Marvel shows, but you will learn where everything places after I give you that ranking, which is coming out in a couple of days. I'm also going to have a ranking of the July films I saw. Then I'm going to have a reviews of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, Haunted Mansion, and maybe the Meg 2 is going to be thrown in there. I got a lot of videos coming up in case you can't tell. Thank you guys for clicking on this one. And with that said, subscribe, join the Nerd Army. Peace out.